Black fatigue or ghetto fatigue is a real thing, and no one's staying silent about it any longer. No nationality wants to be involved or bothered by this loud, obnoxious group of people. No one, not even hard-working Black Americans. I mean, I'm telling no lies here. Everywhere that group of people go, chaos follows. And no matter where you go, they're there. You can't go on a cruise ship because they done ghettoed it out. Have you seen the Carnival cruise ships? It looks like a fucking barbecue. And if you haven't noticed, it's always the same group of people. You know, loud, bonnets, pajamas, big ass eyelashes that flutter. You know, the EBT crowd. I mean, it's gotten so bad that you won't catch me at a Juicy Crab or a Cheesecake Factory or even a McDonald's for that matter, because they turn those places into shooting galleries whenever someone that looks like them look at them wrong. They have mastered the victim card. Everyone's against them. There's oppression everywhere. And it's always the white man's fault, never their own. But let one of them tell it. They would have you believe that the police is the most dangerous thing within their communities. Wrong. You're the most dangerous thing in your community, which is why the police are there in the first place, to stop you from committing genocide against your own people. Look, no one's gonna stay silent to this toxic behavior. And you can call me all the Uncle Toms that you want, but the fact that you're calling me that shows me that I'm saying something with facts. And you wonder why most good Black people move out of those communities as soon as they reach success. It's because they want more for themselves. And that crab in a barrel mindset is not conducive to prosperity. There is absolutely no accountability in that community. Most of that segment hate accountability. They hate truth. They hate to look at themselves in the mirror because they would have to face the fact that they're causing their own oppression. You also have the Democrat Party to thank for spoon-feeding that behavior, making you a permanent underclass, and you still vote blue, no matter who. But America is tired, and people have grown numb to your constant cry of racism. Everyone's a racist who doesn't agree with you. But meanwhile, you can be bigots to everybody else. But yes, I say it again, Black fatigue or ghetto fatigue is real, and it's time that we say something about it. And please, don't waste your time. If it don't apply, let it.
Hello guys, welcome once again to AfriPost. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great time. Now, I came across a clip here of this white lady who was responding to an earlier online outrage that came towards a white woman who called a Black 5-year-old boy N-word. And she was talking about the issue of being tired of Black victimhood mentality, where sometimes Blacks feel like they are the victims in every case. She says that even whites have always been called and have always been targeted by some racial slurs. So she is saying that Blacks need to really man up. They need not to continue complaining about every issue that comes up. And that is where she really brought this issue of Black fatigue. Whites responded and even Blacks responded. So I want you to watch these clips where people are responding to her. Then we shall talk in the end.
The woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this, because Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. But for the love of God, please leave the children out of it. Adults are stupid. They're going to do stupid things. But you're a different level of stupid when you bring kids into it. Thanks for coming to my
So basically, what this woman is saying is that two things can be true at the same time. And I said this the other day when this whole situation first broke out, and then we had the panel on Monday night, where I basically said that white people are starting to get fed up, and that is the whole premise behind black fatigue. Is that nobody wants you to continue to play victim for the rest of your life. They tired of being held accountable for things that their ancestors did. They tired of you blaming all of your failures and the things that you weren't able to accomplish on white people. They're tired of you sitting there saying that you're a victim every single day, regardless of what your circumstance is, regardless of what you've been given, regardless of all of the affirmative action, regardless of the fact that you're saying that you're the most educated, but really you're the most enrolled. They tired of you blaming your debt on the system. They tired of you saying that white men are the problem. They tired of you asking for programs, and they're tired of being held accountable for the decisions that you're making every single day.
She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, because that's not thuggery, hoodrattery, animalistic. This is why people have black fatigue. When you act like this, it's not normal behavior. People do stupid stuff. People say stupid stuff. That's life. It's not normal to threaten to unalive people because you don't like what they're doing. But here we are. People are getting sick and tired of opening up TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships, brawls in the airport, like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired. We're tired of it. But then whining and complaining and acting like it's not your fault that you act that way. Yeah.
And so that comment proved her right. And for whatever reason, y'all think that the white people don't have eyes, that people that are not black don't have eyes, and they can't see how ghetto a lot of this is. And then I have to pay for it because I got to go outside and then account for what you did. People are tired.
Black fatigue is when I can hear you 10 miles away in Walmart with your 5 fucking kids. Black fatigue is when you have no home training and you have no idea how to act in public. And a lot of it is culture. I've been in the hood, I've been in the fucking schools and the projects where I was the only white girl there, and I can 100% guarantee you that it's culture. When majority of y'all know someone who has been unalived by another black person, way more than any instance of a black person being unjustifiably unalived by the police, that's black fatigue. As well as donating to Carmelo Anthony and Rodney Hinton Jr. When you aren't able to hold your own community accountable, that's a problem. We're not going to sit here and act like this is new now, because now white people are speaking out. Especially when we've been told for so long to feel sorry for our whiteness and that we have white tea privilege, whatever the that means, for something no white person alive today did and no black person alive today has experienced. There is no way that y'all thought that we would be quiet for this long. You know, having us on our knees, kissing BLM's feet, still begging for the reparations that you are not owed because you did not go through what your ancestors went through. Nobody cared about race until you started blaming white people for all of your current problems. We're just untolerating it.
Sup, fuckers? Let's go ahead and talk about black fatigue. I know you've all seen the videos just like I've seen them. And it's definitely a real thing. But I really don't think that it's black fatigue. I think that it's ghetto fatigue, ignorance fatigue, hood fatigue. You've seen them. Bonnets and PJs, pants half off their arse. And they bring with them a certain demeanor that you just want fuck all to do with. You could literally point them out in a crowd. You know they're going to be loud and obnoxious. They're going to instigate shit for damn near no fucking reason. They want to make sure that the world knows exactly who the fuck they are and then take zero accountability for the way that they're being. When they have every opportunity to not be that way. And when they're not being that way, they're setting the example of how society likes things. Calm, peaceful, chill, not fucking ratchet. And this ain't a color thing either. It's a culture thing. Because you see tons of black people who are productive members of society. They have wonderful jobs. They have beautiful families. They're doing everything being peaceful with everyone else. And unfortunately, they don't get as much attention as the ratchet motherfuckers. And a lot of them keep asking the question, why the are you people like this? Look what you're doing to our race, to our demographic. Why can't you be like us, who chose to be better? And God, they get shit for it and called names. They get shit for it and called names and fucking attacked for what? For what? They get called names like fucking Uncle Toms and sellouts and all this other shit. Because they're just simply making the choice to be productive in society and peaceful with other people of different races. What is so bad about that? You're turning your back on your people. Ah, the same people who shot at me. Steal everything that I work hard for and buy. Harass and assault my family members. Because if you're talking about those who infringe on my peace and my safety, yes, I absolutely turn my back on them. And white people also went through it too. We have white fatigue. But it's more so like, you know, just trash fatigue. White people call out trashy ass white people all the time. And we want nothing to do with them. We build communities away from them. We point them out for their wrongdoings and societal arrested development all the fucking time. But ultimately, just like with black fatigue and white fatigue, it's the choice of the person bringing the fatigue to change and be better, to which they are consciously not wanting to do. And people get tired tired of it. Why do you think different communities pop up? Because people get tired of shit. And it just simply makes you wonder.
More black people are starting to speak up. They're starting to speak up on the community. And I don't blame us because we tired. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a huge difference between regular black folk and ninjas. Let me break it down for you. Ninjas want to stay in their horrible environments. They have no self-respect and no self-control. They go around unaliving, essaying, stealing, robbing. They don't care about each other. They don't take care of their neighborhoods. And they definitely don't take care of themselves. They don't care about their appearance. They outside loud and obnoxious. Bonnets and mink lashes, extremely long fingernails, sagging pants, smelling like an overwhelming odor of marijuana. And of course they the victim. They still complaining about something that happened 400 years ago, way before their time, way before their parents' time, way before their great-grandparents' time, way before their great-great-great-grandparents' time. Need I go on? And then we got regular black folk. We take pride in our community. We are hardworking, ambitious individuals who definitely want to be segregated from all that nonsense. Our demeanor and our appearance speak volume. We understand that there's a time and a place for our behavior. And most of all, we respect one another. We are not victims. We are the ones without our black card. So yes, black fatigue is really real.
Black fatigue is a thing. Newsflash. White people don't want to live around ratchet black people. And black people don't want to live around ratchet black people. I mean, it's nothing like going to the Walmart on a Sunday morning and then you see the bonnet crew walk in. Loud, obnoxious, the kids are everywhere, in every aisle, unattended. And that's anywhere you go, no matter what. They're highly emotional, highly sensitive. You can't say nothing. You can't even smile and hold the door for them because they'll look at you like you're crazy. And always the victim of something. Either you stepped on their shoe, you looked at them wrong, you told them good morning. They're never happy, they're never satisfied. And you wonder why normal, good black people move out of the hood as soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna buy up this, buy up that. I'm gonna support the community. As soon as I got my money, I got the fuck up out of there. Because they don't know how to appreciate good shit. And my suburban kids don't need to be dealing with that bullshit. Crab in a barrel mentality. Never take accountability for nothing. So yeah, black fatigue is a thing. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are fucking tired. They're tired of dealing with these kind of people on a daily basis. I mean, I get anxiety when I walk inside of a mall nowadays. I mean, because you got these YNs running around and they don't respect nothing. So I don't care what anybody says. White America is tired of you, and we are too.
Whoever came up with the title, Black Fatigue, must have seen the bags under my eyes, honey. Because I have been tired. I have been tired. And I thought it was just me. And folks kept telling me it was just me. How you turning on your people? You don't like black people? I never said I don't like black people. I don't like ratchetness. I don't like the constant obsession with oppression. I don't like people walking around constantly talking about slavery like it was 20 minutes ago. Everything is slavery related. Democrats now, all of the slurs and attacks they have on conservative blacks trace back to slavery. You can't come up with nothing new. I am beyond tired of it. I am tired of people I know talking about, ooh, the white man this, the white man that, while they sitting on the porch smoking a blunt, complaining because they can't get a better job, because they can't pass a drug test. How about that? I am tired of people complaining and talking about the white man this and the white man that, and you done abandoned your kids. Your baby mamas, plural, ain't seen you in years, but the white man this and the white man that. And these sisters out here having babies with 52 different men, and you want to complain about how oppressed you are. Honey, if you had oppressed your knees together, that wouldn't have been the problem that you're facing now, would it? I am so over it. I don't even identify as anything but Nakia now. I don't even identify as a woman no more because they done turned that into 52 different genders. I identify as Nakia, period. You can tell me you taking my black card. Honey, when the last time you put some money on that black card? You can have it. Please take it.
Oh my God.
It ain't even real. Especially if you can only get a black card if you vote for Democrats. Black fatigue is the best thing that ever happened to this country. Because the fact that black people can run up and say, oh, we're oppressed. And then everybody goes out and riots and tears up our own personal neighborhoods. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the fact that one person can have something happen to them. And just because that person is black, now all of us got to be oppressed by it. Folks walking around talking about they can't breathe. They can't breathe. You wasn't even there. I love this trend. I hope that it helps our country, first of all, so people don't keep going out and voting for Democrats just because a black person say they oppressed. I also hope that it helps the black community. It is time that we stop thinking ratchetness is cute. It is time that people twerking in a Lululemon is not something we celebrate. It is time that if a man tells you he got 4 or 5 baby mamas, that you don't go, oh, that's cool. It is time that we stop shaming little black kids who are smart to the point that they stop trying to get A's because it's a bad thing to get an A, to be on honor roll. It is time that we stop with the frontier type ladies. You got a job, you have no customer service skills at all, and you take pride in being horrible at any kind of customer service you got in your little pinky toe. I love this trend because I'm tired. And I know a whole bunch of black people who are tired too. We are tired of black America being on the bottom by design and not by the white man's design. By our own creative minds that we keep coming up with more and more reasons to be ratchet, to have slavery as the forefront of our thoughts, and oppression to be something we shoot up like a drug. I'm not only fatigued, y'all. I'm black exhausted.
Is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman.
Sometimes I genuinely wish I was stupid, because if I was, what you just said would have sounded so cool. White supremacy is a parasite. It latches on and it takes and it takes and it takes. You take our music, you take our style, you take our slang, you take our language, you take our environment. You take words that were created by the black community for protection and understanding, and you co-opt them. Because what the hell is black fatigue? It's a thing. Black fatigue is a real phenomenon, a real scholarly phenomenon that describes the black experience. What you're describing is just race. Every day, I truly understand how Donald Trump won, because his base is stupid. Don't read. Because black fatigue is a phenomenon that was coined by Mary Frances Winters, an author, and she wrote a book called Black Fatigue. Black fatigue is the exhaustion born of the day-to-day small acts of aggression or small acts of disrespect a black person endures. Racism. The fatigue of black people by way of 400 plus years of racism and white supremacy. One population of people do centuries of chattel slavery. After that, they go to black codes and Jim Crow. After that, they go to segregation. After that, they go to 40 plus years of the war on drugs, police brutality, the school to prison pipeline, etc., etc., etc. In 2025, we are sitting under a president that is trying to roll back everything we fought for over the last 400 years. So yeah, we're tired. I want to make it clear that black fatigue is not being tired of being black. It is being tired of the racism that comes with being black. And again, y'all don't read. Here's an article published by medical doctors in the American Heart Association Journal that describes structural racism as a fundamental driver of health disparities. Black people, due to the centuries of racism and white supremacy that we have experienced in America, contributes to black fatigue and a numerous amount of health disparities. A drop in quality of life, a drop in life expectancy, more susceptibility to diseases, COVID-19, heart disease, etc., etc., etc. We're not even going to get into the fact that you used the situation where a white woman called an autistic black child the N-word as a way to get this stupid ass point off. Nah, we ain't going for that.
Remember when every other video popping up was about a Karen misbehaving in public? Even when that was happening, there was no trending topic called white woman fatigue. Because even though there was Karens around every corner, we still see people as individuals. Yeah. We see people with empathy and with compassion. Every time there is a school shooting, there's no trending topic called like white teenage boy fatigue. There are no think pieces and case studies on why is it that white teenage boys are more statistically proven to go into schools and shoot them up. After the Dylan Roof incident in South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina, or the grocery store shootout in upstate New York, there was still no trending topic on white boy fatigue. Because we still see people as individuals with compassion and with humanity. But this trending topic of like black fatigue lets me know that you still don't see black people with compassion and humanity. You want to drive a wedge. you want to be able to look at black people and just lump them into this one thing and just be like, I'm exhausted. I just don't want to be around black people. But I bet you don't do that to white women or to white teens, white male teens. You don't look at them and immediately think that they're going to shoot the place up. It's just something to think about, something for you to think about. Ask yourself why. Why don't you see black people with compassion and individuality?
White woman was talking about Shiloh Hendricks, the lady that called the 5-year-old the N-word. And she said, that shouldn't have happened, but people have black fatigue. People are tired of ghetto-ness, loudness. People are just tired of black people. So we all have fatigue. And that got me thinking, I've heard the phrase black fatigue before, and I know in my heart of hearts that that relates to the fatigue that black people experience existing in this country and around the world, dealing with racism and prejudices that have been put on us due to the history of violence, Jim Crow, segregation. So how are white people appropriating black fatigue? They replaced DEI with black fatigue. And you guys are using that because you're tired of being held accountable for things that you should be held accountable for in this country, and you want to be openly racist to us. This entire discourse is rooted in racism. You want to be able to say you're tired of black people for having a voice. You're tired of us for existing in spaces we exist in. You're tired of us for not all being poor. You're tired of the fact that some of us are doing better than you. But when we live in a country that is based on racism and systematic racism that still exists today, you can't be mad that we're calling you out for it. What the fuck are we talking about? America is a country that suffers from delusion, lack of education, and basically exists in a consistent state of dementia, because the cognitive dissonance that many white people have that exist in this country it alarms me. The fact that this country was founded and predicated on owning bodies and killing off natives. That is the foundation story of this country. Yes, we became one of the most successful countries in the world, but that is the heart and soul of this country. It is rooted in racism. The Declaration of Independence was rooted in racism. The Constitution was written with racism. So the fact that you think you can exist, and we're only out of segregation for how many years now? Not even a generation, not even 2 generations out of segregation. The fact that you think you can exist without racism internally inside of you is crazy. It's crazy. We're all racist. Everybody that exists out of a racist system is racist, especially if you are the one that benefited from said racism.
White people attempting to rebrand white rage by co-opting the term black fatigue as though it's a phenomenon they actually experienced but only recently found the language to talk about is both dystopianly weird and tragically on brand. The copying, the whitewashing, the centering themselves by playing victim. But what's ironically telling about it is that the concept of racial battle fatigue is not new. It's been around for decades, and the term black fatigue has been used by black people for quite a while. Mary Frances Winters wrote a book that came out in 2020 titled Black Fatigue, and it describes the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that black people experience because of systemic racism. Now, notice how black people didn't call that white fatigue, because the purpose is not to assign blame in order to justify bad behavior. It is called black fatigue because it is a harm that black people experience, and so their focus is on addressing and combating that harm. Whereas when white people talk about experiencing black fatigue, they are not talking about a harm that they experience because of black people or anybody else. They are literally telling on their own inability to live in society with black people. And that's not new either. That's a pathology that has existed for hundreds of years, but call it what it is, white rage.
Saying black fatigue is real is one of the wildest statements I've ever heard. And it's also complete bullshit, because you weren't oppressed for 250 years. Your ancestors weren't enslaved in America for hundreds of years. Members of your family weren't getting lynched. You weren't having crosses burned into your yard by the KKK. You didn't fight tooth and nail to get basic rights and desegregate America. You're not the one who's dealing with the consequences of systemic racism and redlining that goes back almost 100 years. Don't give me this bullshit about black fatigue when really you're just racist and you're pissed off that the scales are not tipping in your direction anymore. Absolute fucking bullshit.
I've been hearing a lot of white folks throw out the term black fatigue. And of course they're just admitting that they're fucking racist. But by definition, white people cannot have black fatigue. It specifically means the weariness that black people feel by hundreds of years of oppression and microaggression that happens to them just by being black and trying to survive in this country. So white folks who are claiming black fatigue, if you would please shut your dumb racist ass up. And while we're talking about dumb racist asses, I'm going to also point out that TDS, or Trump Derangement Syndrome, is the fanaticism of Trump supporters to still either be willfully ignorant and follow his dumbass or completely fucking racist. I think it's both. Regardless, TDS applies to Trump supporters, and black fatigue, y'all shut your dumb, white, racist asses up because it's only black people. Have the day you deserve.
I think the responses that the lady got, especially from black people, is well deserved. Blacks have gone through hell. For many years, they have been mistreated and they kept quiet. They've gone through slavery and they still kept quiet. Other minority groups have been given the reparations. Blacks in the United States have not gotten the reparations, but they still are keeping quiet. Discrimination, laws that are meant to really subjugate their growth, regulations and laws like Jim Crow laws, redlining, and many other forms of discriminations, blacks still have kept quiet. So this really gives me the thought that I think some people do not want the best for black people. It is only that sometimes they don't get to understand the kind of challenges that blacks have gone through. That is why sometimes when I talk about the issues that blacks have gone through, I tend to remember the experiment by Jane Elliott, where she did the blue eye, brown eye experiment and found out that these discrimination tactics that have been used against blacks, if they are flipped to be directed towards whites, they will really not have peace in their hearts. And that is why sometimes you find that Jane Elliott is very, very strong when it comes to talking to whites and telling them that they have enjoyed white privilege for far too long and they need to take time and heal. And respect blacks for having endured all these sufferings without any bad thing coming out of them. This is a sad situation that is in the American society, and it seems we have to live by it until seriousness can come to white America. Blacks will remain disenfranchised. And it is upon black people to come together and really work towards making things better. And it is upon American leadership to work together to ensure that the disenfranchisement that is targeted towards black people is eliminated. Tell me down in the comment section what you think about this. And if you're watching us for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, and share. Thank you. Let's meet on the next one.